good afternoon. Welcome to the Dear Abby Dolliver Show. I'm Abby Dolliver, Superintendent of Schools in Norwich, and this is my co-host, Joe Stefan, Director of Curriculum and Instruction. And we have two wonderful guests, really, today. One is Kaitlyn O'Leary, who's our new Director of Strategic Initiatives. And also we have a studio audience today, which is made up of students from Kelly Middle School. So we're very thrilled to be able to have our students take part in our show. And as the weeks go on, we will be able to involve them more and more in our broadcast. So today, they're here to learn about our broadcast and what we do. And in the future, they will all have jobs and responsibilities to make this broadcast possible. So we always love to have our students involved. So thank you to our students. So we'll get back to having Kate O'Leary here, who's our Director of Strategic Initiatives. We're very pleased to have you on our staff now. It's been a whirlwind education, I think, for you since you've started. And there's many programs under that are on your responsibility. So I thought maybe we would take this opportunity to talk about some of them, some of which involve our students that are here. So maybe if we start, first talk to us a little bit about who you are and what brought you to Norwich, and then we'll lead into the Aspire program and our students and what that offers them.
Sure. Well, my name is Kaitlyn O'Leary, and I came here from Capital Region Education Council. My experience prior to Norwich Public Schools was working statewide with federally funded after-school programs as a consultant to the State Department of Education. So I was able to travel all around the state and see elementary, middle, and high school programs that were providing enriching opportunities for kids after school. As part of my work there, I was involved in working with Norwich and came here and I saw all of the great staff and students that were participating before, and when the position became available, it was a no-brainer for me. So I applied for the position and started here this summer, as you know, and I have been spending the past 3 months working to continue the good work that's been done with the Bridges and Aspire programs, which are the after-school programs, working with extended school hour funds, and working on parent engagement initiatives in the district. So it's been a big focus, and like you said, it's been a whirlwind since I came on board, but I think we're doing some really good work.
We are. So maybe now, so that the students can hear about some of what thought goes into having the Aspire program and the wonderful staff that we have there and students. What goes into planning for that, and how do you put that kind of program together?
Sure.
And what does it look like?
The planning actually starts in the spring for the program. The State Department of Education will release an RFP, which is a request for proposal, and staff at local boards of education and nonprofit agencies will put together a proposal. It's about a 35-page document that outlines the way that we're going to run after-school programs, what services we're going to provide, how we're connecting that work to the school day, how we're tying in local agencies, how we're including families. So there's a lot of thought that goes in from the very beginning. When writing the grant proposal, we get letters of interest and letters of support from all of the local agencies, and then it gets signed off at your level. And we submit to the State Department of Ed. This year our funding is for the Aspire program is state funding, and we were awarded money to secure 2 years of after-school programming. There were 75 applicants in the entire state of Connecticut, and only about 30 of them were funded. So we wrote a really powerful grant application. Once they go through their whole process of at the state level of reviewing all of the applications and scoring them and doing all of the paperwork that has to be done at the state level, then they come back and will award funding based on how much money is available, and then that's when we have to hit the ground running. So we found out in September that we were funded for this position. So at the district level, we have to start thinking about what is the school year going to look like. So we build the calendar, we break down all of the sessions and take a look at what staffing we need. So there were several days of interviewing candidates and bringing on new staff people to be able to help us realize the vision that we had for the after-school program. Once all of our staff is on board, we go through training with them and we have them meet their site coordinators, and then we start trying to create the registration forms. So that's the part where the kids start hearing about Aspire. They've been asking since the beginning of the school year, but only now do they just get their Aspire registration and get involved. So registration forms come back, clubs are made, and programming gets started. And there's a lot of behind-the-scenes work that goes into it, as far as securing space in the school, connecting with those partners that signed on to work with us back in the spring, and even coordinating busing. So there's a lot of small pieces that go into creating
A big puzzle.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what a partner in these programs, who could that be? What might that be? So the students and the community understand.
So our major partner this year is Three Rivers Community College. There will be a couple of sessions where students will have the opportunity to go to Three Rivers and actually experience college courses. So they get to cycle through a couple of different classes and see what is offered, what is the expectation, what does the room look like, what is a professor, what does that mean for me? And also get a chance to see what they'll need to do right now and in high school to get ready for college. So that's a really exciting partnership that we have. Another partner is a local art studio, Meekum Kilnworks, and we have students at both Kelly and teachers that will be able to sign up for an art education program. It doesn't mean that they go there every day, but they go to the studio, they get familiar with what the studio looks like and do some fun activities there, and then also carry that work back to the school with them.
That's great.
So it could be a lot of different things, and partners are able to provide a lot of different resources like studio space that we didn't have access to in college campuses, that we couldn't provide that same experience at the school.
So some of what the students will see will be a little different than they've seen in the past, and some will be similar, some of the partners, some of the programs. And I know Joe would probably want to ask this, but I'll ask it. In terms of, based on the requirements that the state puts in, the students may say, how come we don't just get to paint or do yoga or or pottery the whole time that we're here? How come we have to do homework or work on our school work during the program? So maybe if you want to talk a minute about that.
Sure. Well, the funding that we have for the middle schools is state funding, but it's based off of a federal grant. And that grant's called the 21st Century Community Learning Center grant. That grant is designed, like I said, at the federal level and requires that we provide academic programming, enrichment programming, and recreational programming for students. So although we want every activity to be fun and hands-on, we have to have that learning component connected to it too. So we try to provide hands-on science enrichment programming, and there's writing that's incorporated into our video production group, which is the group that we have in the studio today. So we always try to find that way to connect it back to what the students are learning during the school day.
So some of what these students that are here today may gain from this is that they will write the script for us for future shows. So that would really be exciting for us. Joe, did you have anything to do?
No, I just wanted to say, since Kate's come on board, one of the things that she's focused on is making sure that what is happening with Bridges and Aspire aligns to what we do curriculum-wise during the day in all the different grade levels. And she's been working with her curriculum director for after-school programming to align the projects and the work that students do with the curriculum. And that's also part of when we worked on the Priority School Grant, the Alliance Grant, and the Consolidated Title I Grant. They are now requesting that all of these grants sort of mesh together in one way or the other, much more than in previous years. So I think they want to see the connection so that we are using the money productively, effectively, and we're getting the most out of it.
That's good. Now, I know that Aspire is for the middle school. Is there much difference in what you do and we do for Bridges, the elementary school program?
The programs are really modeled one after the other one. So we run the same type of schedule and provide similar programming. In the Bridges program, the big difference on my end is that it's a federally funded grant rather than a state-funded grant. But when the students are seeing the program, they see a lot of similarities. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays in Bridges, they participate in a club. So they get to sign up for something that is a hobby-based activity of theirs, but that's always linking to a community service project. So that's the really interesting piece for the Bridges students, whereas the Aspire students, we try to link their activities to what future careers they could have. So it's kind of a continuum between the elementary school and the middle school. On Tuesdays and Thursdays in the Bridges program, those are our more academically based programs, and we call those academic adventures because they're exploring, hands-on activities, like I said before, and really the focus is on connecting to what's happening during the school day. And like Joe said, our instructors in the Bridges program are really focused on aligning their practices with what the teachers are doing during the school day. So they are using the same lesson plan templates that the school day teachers are using. They're using the same positive behavior interventions and supports token economies that the school day teachers are using. So it should be a really seamless programming from the beginning of the day all the way through the end, no matter what time the students leave.
So it's really, they talk about the benefits, we read about the benefits of having a longer school day, while people would say, oh, I don't want to be in school longer. When we are able to provide these wonderful opportunities, it's not so bad after all, I'm sure.
And I think one of the things that is a little different this year, Kaitlyn and I have met numerous times, but she's worked diligently on really reaching out for community partnerships. And we got some, I don't remember how many, but it's something that I haven't really focused on too much in past years. We've used most of the priority money for academic or enrichment programs that were done by teachers or other staff in the schools. So now she's reached out and, I don't know how many you got in the end, but.
Yeah, well, we ended up being able to concentrate our efforts on two really strong community partners. So that's another place where we're able to, one is a brand new partner to us within the past several years. It's Safe Futures, and they'll be working with us to provide youth empowerment programming at every school in the district. And the other one is Denison Pequot Seapost, who will be doing science-based enrichment programming also at all of the schools. So it's
at every grade level?
At every grade level in the district.
Mm-hmm. We've worked with Denison in the past. The last couple of years, they've done nature programs, I believe, for a second grade, and the students really enjoyed that. So this is a perfect extension to what they started a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
When do you think that those programs will start? And do students have to sign up, or is there a limited number of slots, that kind of thing?
There is a limited number of slots. We're only able to provide programming for about 15 students at each school. So when we're looking at the whole district, it's a lot of students, but at each school, it's a small club, just like the number of students that we enroll in any of our clubs and academic adventures at Bridges and Aspire. So we're really going to align the way that program looks with all of the other things that are happening in the district.
But it's 15 students and over a period of time, and then it can be another 15. So we'll
right. They rotate through.
Right.
Yes. So many more students will have the benefit of the programs.
Yes.
Now to switch gears a minute, we've talked a lot about this, the importance of having families and parents engaged with our schools and with our students. So talk a little bit about what you see for this. It's kind of a new twist through, we've always tried to do this, but with the additional staff through our Alliance funding, we're trying, and we think we found the right people to be out in the community with our families. So if you want to talk a little bit about how you see that.
Sure. Like you said, parent engagement has always been a part of the work that's happened in the district. You have after-school program providers and school day teachers and school-based administrators that are working to bring families in and let them know about what their children are learning during the school day and help them be that resource when they go home. When they go home at the end of the day, our parents are our students' first teachers, so we know that. What we're able to do this year is, through our funding, is to be able to have, like you said, those targeted parent engagement specialists. Parent engagement doesn't look the same for every family, doesn't look the same at every grade level, so we have to be really strategic about the way that we're involving parents, and we have to provide a lot of different options for parent engagement. There are opportunities to provide big family events at schools and link them with what's already happening, link them with open houses and report card nights. But there's also ways for parents to be involved in different ways. Some parents may be more interested in becoming involved in a smaller scale, being on focused committees that might focus on understanding what common core state standards are, or helping to identify ways that the school can be more welcoming. There's also ways that we can provide supports for families that need really individualized support. And we have a lot of resources in the district that families might not know about. So these parent engagement specialists can work with families to link them with resources that we have right here in the school district and resources that are out in the community. So it's going to be very exciting work, and we're going to hit the ground running with some really qualified people that will be starting with us soon.
That's great. One of the other questions I have is that, we adults, the adults will think about, well, this would be a good program, and we should do this, and we should do that. And that's, I think we're right a lot of the time. But I also wonder, do we take our students' input into some of the things that we're planning? And how do we do that, and how do we factor that in? Or once we're started, do we take our students' input to see what works for them within our guidelines, what we have to do?
I think that our site coordinators do a really good job of speaking with the students informally and providing surveys for students at the conclusion of each session. So the site coordinators that are at every site are really the eyes and ears for everybody working at the district level to understand what's working well for the students and what they want more of. I meet with the site coordinators on a monthly basis formally, but also I'm in touch with them every day through phone calls and emails, and they are definitely advocates for the students and make sure that we're, like you said, we know the vision of the program, we know what we need to do, but we're doing it in a way that best fits the needs and the interests of our students.
Good. I know in the past when we've had to eliminate programs such as sports or music, we've sometimes used this funding toward enriching students in that way. Is there the opportunity to do that this year?
There is. We've already set up at the Aspire program, so at our middle school level, Session 1 had running programs available for students. In Sessions 2 and Sessions 3, we're going to be able to offer boys and girls basketball programming, and then in Session 5, we're bringing back the cross-country program. So, we do what we can, and like you said, we really want to diversify the programs that are available, but we know that sports is an important piece of programming for our students, so we do what we can to support that. We have a really dedicated coaches that are involved in the program, and they're always trying to think of ways to help us do fundraising so that we can continue this in the future. So I think we have a really good plan in place, and we're going to be able to continue on with sports programming, for the foreseeable future.
That's great. Did you have anything you want to ask, Joe?
The sports programs are run by our own staff, though, right? Those aren't part of the community partner options at this point.
That's right. So our sports programs are staffed by school day teachers and Aspire staff after school. So there are some really specific guidelines for certifying our coaches, and that's our first and foremost focus, is creating a safe environment for students. So every one of our coaches is CPR and first aid certified and has taken a concussion training and has gone through the process to get themselves certified as a coach through the state of Connecticut.
When you think about some of the after-school offerings, like with Three Rivers and the safety program, I think it goes back to our original plan of Next, which is in its third year, I think. And we were fortunate back 3 years ago to get some support from our city council to do this in-depth look at what we would like from our district as a future. And so a lot of these programs that we're starting to filter into our schools during the day and after school really address some of the expectations that committee had pulled together, offering enrichment, offering sports for students. The opportunity for kids to go to Three Rivers is something that, was brought up numerous times. So, we're fortunate to have grants that we're able to do this.
Right. In addition to the original Next, with the work we did more recently focusing on Taffville, for the next Taffville neighborhood, we should see more involvement from our community in partnerships, which will be great for our students and our families.
Yeah, it was great for me to be able to be a part of a recent Next meeting that was held, and to see all of the community partners, nonprofit agencies and for-profit agencies and health service agencies and people from all different areas of Norwich Public Schools coming together. I know that I have a great resource in Next, so we'll continue to partner and look to expand the offerings that we already have available for students after school.
So if you had unlimited funding or another grant and they said, here's $1 million or even $500,000, we'd be happy. In your dream, what might we be able to provide for our students and families?
I think that something that we always want to be able to provide, but is always difficult with funding, is being able to provide more opportunities for kids to get involved in programming that's off-site. I think that we have a lot of resources in the area, and I think that it's unfortunate that right now I can't provide programming at Mystic Aquarium and Mystic Seaport and send the kids to Meekum Kilnworks and off to a dance studio all the time. I think it's really important for the kids to understand the wealth of resources that are available in their community and get out and see what Norwich has to offer. So with more funding, I'd love to be able to do that.
And I think with the funding we have, the great part is we can bring samples of those things in to our students. They can see how they like it, what interests them, and then we can grow that with any help. So how do we empower our students who are listening to us intently and so patiently today to, how can we empower them to advocate for, in a positive, productive way, for what they feel is important to them and will help them, especially the middle school students, as they move forward in their career path?
Well, I think that right now in the programming that they're a part of, they're able to have a voice in the different media that they choose to participate in. So we have a Aspire Productions group right now that has a voice through film, and they're able to really focus on what's important to them and get messages out through, like I said, through video. We have a music production group that can get that message down through music. And I think that we all have different talents, and I think that being able to understand what's really important to you and figure out the best way to get the message out is what we really try to instill in students through Aspire, and hopefully they take that with them through high school and on to college, and they're really able to pursue what they're passionate about and make that impact in their communities.
It's good.
I think, another big plus for the Aspire and Bridges program, and something I've seen over the last few years, is that the staff has become increasingly diverse, with people who are working who are speak different languages, people of color, and young. So we're giving the students an opportunity to interact with a younger population of staff members in a diverse population, which I think is important, especially in our city.
Right. Really good role models.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're able to definitely offer that, and I am floored every time I get out to the programs and see what our young staff is able to accomplish with the students. It's really unbelievable, the connections that they can make with students and the way that they can get messages across in ways that are really unique to these programs.
I know in the past we've invited parents in for some events for these programs to showcase them. Is there anything in the plan this year for, other than the new parent engagement people, but is there anything that you see in the plan for bringing families into what we're doing now?
Yeah, well, family engagement is also a piece of Bridges and Aspire, just as it is. So our site coordinators really have been working to make that connection with families, and some events have been planned in collaboration with the PTOs at their schools and the FRCs at their schools, the Family Resource Centers. Our staff has also put together websites that can share upcoming information for families, and created email distribution lists to keep parents in the loop, and created online calendars where parents can quickly access and see what events are coming up. So there's a lot, like I said before, there's a lot of different ways to engage families. So we're trying to really take a look at diversifying what family engagement looks like for our after-school programs.
Great. Well, our time is just about over. Any last words about the programs that you want to share with our students or our community?
Well, I just want to say that I've learned so much in the 3 months that I've been here, and I've seen really exciting things happening, and I can't wait to continue working with the staff and with the students and with the families to build programs that are going to be around for a long time, and that that have a really good, oh man, I lost it.
Powerful impact on our students.
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
that's right.
That's great. Anything else?
No.
Well, we're thrilled to have you on our team.
Thank you.
And the people who are working in your department are phenomenal too. So we'll just keep growing that. And our students, of course, are the best ever. So we're thrilled that we've had you here. And when we tape our next show, we're going to see you more active in a role that we designed for you. So now you see how we sit here and talk. Now we're going to need your voice in some way too. So
Some of you may be up here.
Get ready.
Get ready. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kaitlyn, Joe,
Thank you.
and our students.